Hello, this is Robin Blackstone, and thank you for coming to share with us today's podcast for RVU Nation. This is day 6, and the title of this is Being Human. Marta sits across from her surgeon trying to steady herself. She is in her 40s and carries the exhausted courage of someone who has spent years doing everything she was told to do. Dieting, walking, eliminating certain foods, adding different ones, tracking steps, swallowing shame, forgiving herself, and trying again. And still, she got worse. When she finally arrives in this exam room, she brings not only obesity, but insulin resistance, joint disease, sleep apnea, and the loneliness of fighting a battle the culture insists is a personal failure. Her surgeon knows this story because it belongs to almost half the country. 40% of Americans now live with obesity and the chronic conditions woven around it. These are not numbers. They are people who have fought alone for years before they ever sit down across from someone like the surgeon. He studies her chart, but the real work unfolds in the silence between questions. He weighs benefits and risks. He listens for what Marta says and what she cannot yet say. He reads the tremor in her voice, the years of effort behind her hope, the fear she hides beneath determination. This is judgment shaped by decades of training, empathy sharpened by logic, skill tempered by restraint, intelligence formed by experience and doubt. He is naturally skeptical, but he hides it well. Then she tells him about her 2 daughters, how hard it was to become pregnant, how proud she is of what the girls are becoming. She's a single parent. After nearly an hour, he tells her gently that surgery isn't her next step. Not when GLP-1 medications offer a safer path, not when her biology might respond to a treatment tailored to her, not a category. Relief rises in her face. Someone finally saw her whole story, not just the body in front of them. It is a kind of rescue, although nothing was cut, nothing billed, nothing coded. But when he submits the visit, all that wisdom, the thinking, the listening, the discernment drops to 0. CPT codes reduce human complexity into fragments that can be tallied and timed. They reward what fits neatly inside a billing manual and erase the part of medicine that saves lives. The medication isn't covered by her insurance. Surgery is. A decision made by people in a room far away that puts her at risk, puts her children at risk, and denies her the chance to try something safer first that's equally effective. Who decided? The people who administer these codes cannot see us, any of us. They do not see the mother who has tried for years. They do not see the surgeon wrestling with uncertainty. They do not see the nurse who senses what a machine misses. They do not see the inventor pushing a breakthrough uphill. The system is immune to suffering, immune to context, immune to culture, and so it makes decisions that make no sense in the world where real people live. There is a pediatrician who spends 40 minutes with a frightened mother whose toddler cannot sleep. She listens, steadies her, helps the mother return to her life lighter than when she arrived. That 40-minute rescue is reimbursed for less than the cost of parking outside the clinic. An ICU nurse steps into a patient's room and instantly senses something's wrong. She adjusts the oxygen, calls the team, restores order before the alarms ever sound. She saves a life because she reads the room more accurately than any monitor. CPT has no place for vigilance, no modifier for intuition, no recognition for the human radar that keeps people alive. There is a man with shoulder pain who has worked through it for years. His clinician knows he needs an MRI. It isn't authorized. He must develop numbness in his hands before approval is possible. But he works with his hands. By the time they become numb, he will lose his job and his insurance. Then the MRI becomes impossible to afford. The system decides he has not yet failed enough treatments, not yet suffered the right sequence of steps. He must get worse before he can get better. He ends up blaming himself instead of a system built around criteria designed for no one in particular. And then there are the people trying to invent the future. One of them spent decades developing histotripsy, Histosonic's remarkable technology that destroys tumors without a blade, without radiation, without the trauma we have come to accept as the cost of survival. It is elegant, precise, humane. A treatment built for a specific tumor in a specific person. It now has a CPT code, something worth celebrating. But patients still face the same outdated approval rituals, the same population-level requirements, the same hoops that have nothing to do with their body. Even the future must wait for a system built for a past that never saw us clearly. For most of the last century, medicine relied on mass decision-making. Every man at 50 was treated as if he were the same man. Same risks, same needs, same outcomes. Then we learned to see race, not as biology, but as disparity we created. Then we realized people without support struggled no matter how perfect the treatment. And thinkers like Colin Woodard and Nico Pronk helped us see a deeper truth. It is the structure of our communities, the strength of our networks, the culture of our daily lives that determines whether we survive, whether we thrive. Yet even now, there is no window into the specificity of a person's story. We still treat individuals as if they were averages. We force them through hoops designed for no one in the room. We ask clinicians to compress decades of wisdom into a few billable lines. We ask innovators to wait for a vocabulary that lags their vision and their data. The real medicine begins here, with a specific person who has a specific need, with a unique clinician with a specific skill for a human problem, with a chance at a more human outcome. Everything should serve that moment, not obscure it. Until we build a system capable of valuing the intelligence, empathy, judgment, and skill that make that fit between person and provider possible, that make that moment of healing possible, we will keep practicing a kind of medicine that honors neither effort. So where does technology, Dr. AI, fit? People require autonomy over their lives, including their health. Dr. AI, already shown to be at least as accurate as a clinician across hundreds of daily problems, and far more available, can serve as the first responder for the ordinary, the confusing, and the frightening. It costs almost nothing to keep this full-time doctor in your home, helping with everything from gout to a cold. Its knowledge runs deep and broad. It knows when to escalate. It knows when a human clinician is required. It knows you, your patterns, your history, your specifics, in a way no legacy system has ever attempted to honor. The real transformation happens at the moment when you do need or want to work with a clinician. Dr. AI prepares the way, matches the right person with you, ensures that all the data is known and provided, pulls the relevant studies, matches it to your specific situation, and delivers and facilitates the process of care so that you and your clinician can focus on the substance of the encounter, the things that only humans can do. It makes it possible for the right provider to meet the right person at the right time with the right information to produce a more human outcome, not a more mechanical one. It is too small a future to continue as we are. For the clinician who goes home with no empathy left to give, and for the person who goes home carrying shame they never deserved, for unanswered questions and unanswered feelings of worth. Perhaps it's past time to ask a different question. What was the care you received worth to you? What was the care you delivered worth to you? And to aim for a common single goal, that each time two people meet in a room to face an illness together, the experience of care for both of them feels the same. Priceless. This is Robin Blackstone. Thank you for tuning in to RVU Nation. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.